lives. I want to build kind of a small library of these. And this time, we're going to talk about New World skin typing, this idea that we can go beyond organic. Now, the industry has like really, really cleaned up our ingredients. Like consumers have voted with their dollars, and we're now seeing lots of skincare lines that are using organics, and of course, that means natural preservatives as well. So I want to just take this idea of like, what else? Like, where else can we go? And there's a lot more that we can do with natural and organic skincare. And I am the creator of the first Medi-Holistic skincare resurfacing process and products that support that process. And in the making of all of this and my many years in the industry, I've basically reinvented the wheel when it comes to skin typing. Now, ever since I can remember, when I've picked up a book and it talks about skin types, it's always talking about what in reality is actually symptoms. It's like you're either oily, you're combination, you're sensitive. You have mature skin. That's another one that they use as far as like, what's your skin type? And I am challenging that whole system. And basically, I've developed another way of typing skin. And the way that I do it at Skin Harmonics is, instead of looking at the symptoms, which all of those old types are just temporary symptoms. It's skin that's out of balance and has some issues, but I wouldn't necessarily call it types of skin. Now, there's 3 types of skin that I see, and sometimes they mix a little bit because there's never any hard and fast, rigid rule for anything, not even ever skincare, especially not skincare. And what I have found over the years as I've been developing this new skin wheel is that there's 3 types, and I'll list them out, and then I'm going to break it down for you about what each type is in the Skin Harmonics wheel. So the first type is what I call skin that's hypersensitive, not just sensitive, but hypersensitive. And then there's skin that's reactive. And then the third type of skin is median skin. Now, if I can categorize somebody's skin, and I can within minutes, moments, seconds of being with somebody's skin, I can then figure out the best map forward for how to resurface their skin. And of course, for anybody who's been following me, I resurface skin using dermal nutrients. I do not use any acids, no old-fashioned retinols, and no scrubbing, no trauma-based procedures. So this is a non-chemical way to resurface our skin. And so if I can figure out which of these 3 that my person is, then there's a really, really clear-cut way to move forward. So the first one is skin that's hypersensitive, and hypersensitive skin is struggling with inflammation. And it could be internal, it could be external. Internal meaning some sort of microbiome disorder, some type of food allergy. It could also be external, where there's some sort of essential oil or synthetic product or some allergies that you're exposing your skin to that's causing inflammation. This can also include skin that's just been over procedured, skin that's been over scrubbed, over retinoled, over acided with glycolics, and all of that. Often develop an unnatural hypersensitivity. And so this type of skin requires a really separate set of way of working with, so it can be rehabilitated, if you will, and moved along into a place to where it's no longer struggling with inflammation. So hypersensitivity is something that I see a lot of, and almost always this skin can be completely on-ramped into a place where it's not struggling with inflammation. It just requires some basic things that obviously the conventional skincare industry does not provide. So hypersensitive skin is skin that's not hungry at all, actually. And part of the way that I've developed these 3 ways, part of why I did it is because all I need to know is how much dermal nutrients does a person's skin need, that sweet spot to stimulate new skin cell renewal, but without adding any too much stress to the skin. We want that sweet spot where we're getting positive blood flow, but we're not tipping it into more inflammation, which is aging. So hypersensitive skin is something that takes a lot of TLC, some patience, but that's what hypersensitive skin is. And then the second type of skin is reactive skin. And for me, it was really interesting to tease reactive skin and hypersensitive skin apart, because reactive skin is skin that is just purely genetically inclined to react. People with reactive skin just blush easily. When they work out, they get red. This skin isn't deeply mad or upset or irritated by anything. It's just responsive. It's just reactive, simply put. And I liked a way of thinking about reactive skin is that it fake cries. Like it gets red, but it's not mad and it's not upset. It's not hurting. It's just responding to the environment. And this is a genetic thing that like is purely genetic. And so for me, it was really important to tease hypersensitivity away from reactive skin, because they are 2 completely different things that happen. And then the third type of skin is called median skin. And median skin, I know it sounds kind of boring. It sounds sort of like, median skin, who wants to have median skin? But median skin is skin that's basically can have a lot of issues, but inflammation isn't one of them. So it has stabilized itself, even in the face of dehydration, congestion, all sorts of issues. Acneic skin can be median skin. It's skin that is less bothered by its environment and less bothered by scrubbing and chemical peels and all of those things. It's just sort of like a sturdier, if you will, skin type that can handle a lot more stress without getting mad the way that a hypersensitive skin type would. So these are the 3 types of skin that I filter all of the time. And this is all the information I need to know, because what I have discovered is that what is universal for all skin types and skin symptoms, whether you're oily, whether you're combination, whether you're dry, whether you're mature, whether you're sun damaged, whether you're acneic skin, no matter what skin symptom you are dealing with, all skin needs water. Like it's the first and foremost fundamental need that all skin has. It's universal across the board. All skin loves to be hydrated and saturated with water. And the second thing that is completely universal is something that's called barrier restoration. And that's when our natural oil from our sebaceous gland makes oil, mixes with a little bit of our own sweat, and creates our acid mantle. And this is something that happens all the time. And that acid mantle should just be in place like 24/7. It should never be disturbed. There's no reason to disturb it. And there's all the reasons in the world to continually support it. And so this idea of supporting our skin's natural barrier function, which is what I gave my last, I guess 2 of them went back, 2 of my other lives. It's one of my favorite topics. I'm like always promoting the unsung hero of our acid mantle. That's what is something that all skin wants. Like, I don't care what color, I don't care like what age. It's another universal, exactly like water. And so if we can hydrate our skin, all skin is thirsty, and all skin needs this barrier support, barrier function, barrier restoration. These are all ways that they've been said in the industry. Barrier repair, barrier restoration, all of these things. If we can provide that, we want to always provide that and put that into place. Now we have a foundation, and now it's just about just figuring out how hungry is our skin. And hunger for our dermal layer is something that I have to sometimes wiggle around with and do experimental doses with until I can find just the right dose, because appetite, dermal appetite, if you will, depends on how dehydrated our skin is, how unrestored our barrier is, how over procedured our skin is. What else? I mean, I'm trying to think of all the variables that would decide dermal appetite. Sun exposure plays a really big role in how hungry our skin is. Age can sometimes play a really big role. Older skin does get hungrier for more nutrients. And I'm trying to think, what are some other factors to dermal appetite? It could be also just genetics as well. I find that reactive skin can have all different types of appetites. So just if you have reactive skin and your skin gets a little blushed or stimulated from a dose of dermal nutrients, it can be really invigorating and like beneficial for your skin, and not to be too bothered by that reactivity. So let's see, what other things could go into dermal nutrient appetite? Yeah, I mean, I think those all get off of this, and I'll probably think of a few more, but those are the ones that are coming to my mind. And those are the things that I'm always sort of like guessing, which my guesses are pretty good for the starting point. And then there's sometimes an adjustment period. And that adjustment period sometimes never needs to happen, but sometimes we have to back off the dermal nutrients, and sometimes we need to increase the dermal nutrient amount. And so that's kind of it. Like this whole like combination skin, oily skin, dry skin, like to me, that's just like, that tells me nothing about the actual type of skin that I'm working with. Once I can understand and feel how hungry skin is and how quickly I can reassemble hydration and barrier restoration, then we can go places. We can go places fast, actually. And even for skin that is not hungry at all and is still in that hypersensitive mode, so much hypersensitivity can be healed just by slowing down and restoring hydration and barrier restoration, and not pushing our skin, past itself. Hypersensitive skin has a lot of reasons to be upset. It's actually really intelligent skin that's just saying, hold on, too much, like too many peels, too much retinol, too many lasers, too many scrubs, too many chemicals. And this skin type just requires a lot of slowing down and hydration and barrier restoration, and then time. And so often I start with skin that's hypersensitive and reactive, and all of it just really mad almost about anything you put on it, because it's just so used to chemicals and trauma-based procedures. And as the weeks and the months go by, oftentimes this is the skin that ends up on some of the strongest doses of dermal nutrients. And the skin is just like really thriving and hungry, and it gets its vivaciousness back, and its luster and its glow and its shine. And so Those are my three types: hypersensitivity, reactive, and median skin. So, yeah, I was really, wanted to like get that out there. Sometimes people have been, using my system for years and coming to me for years, and I don't say these things out loud and never really officially type their skin. But of course I deal and be with clients and new clients all the time that like have to report what type they are. And it's sort of like, irrelevant information. This is like all going to be water under the bridge soon. And I'm more interested in these other things that will get all skin types tracking forward. So let's see, how we doing on time? I like keeping these pretty short, actually. Let me think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. I am going to go back and do a PS again about barrier restoration. When I talked about this the last time, and I can tell this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be PSing a lot of these. But one of my last Facebook Lives was about barrier restoration and how to, not mess up our barrier. And one of the ways that people do it is through acid peels, glycolic, lactic, and salicylic. And I think I might do something just about this, but I want to say that enzymes are my favorite and my recommended way to exfoliate skin, because enzymes are intelligent and they don't, if they're formulated just right, they don't overtake more skin cells than they should that we're still using. And they kind of nibble and they like literally eat the dead skin flakes and nothing more and nothing less. So using an enzyme exfoliator is a preferred way. And especially, of course, the enzyme exfoliator that I made, I can vouch for that one specifically. But in general, enzymes are a little safer, a way to not sabotage the acid mantle on your skin. And then I thought of this too, and I've said this to many clients, that there's also just this whole phobia around pore size and acid mantle. And I've actually had many clients come to me saying that that was their skin type, that they have really, like horribly large pore sizes, and that was their skin type. And it's not a skin type. Like, pore size is genetic, and we can make them bigger through dehydration and sun exposure. But the goal is not to shrink our pores. The goal is to have really hydrated, healthy pores that are functioning exactly the way that they should be, not by being over-astringed and scrubbed and somehow all of these products on the market that are meant to shrink pores, because that often what that really means is that it's dehydrating your skin, and that sabotages pore health. And that will ironically give you larger pores in the end, because dehydrated skin will age faster. It will get more sun damage, all of the things that we don't want happening. And the other thing about pore size is, reiterating, it's not a skin type at all, is that often magazines are photoshopping pores. And I do it too on my Instagram account. Like, you can't hardly find, fun, beautiful photos of skin where the pores haven't been photoshopped out. And so it's just sort of this like weird thing about beauty culture. And as we're all waking up and getting more real and like want to be more transparent, and obviously, I mean, I want to create a be a part of the beauty industry that is less about fear and all of this manipulative marketing that happens. But, you know, we can't just keep photoshopping life, and especially our pores. It's a problem, because then I have normal people with gorgeous normal pores coming to me saying that they have like garishly horrible enlarged pores, and it's just not right. I feel like they've been suckered by the industry into thinking that there's something wrong with their pores, and there's not. So I think we've hit maybe the 15-minute mark. And so I think I'm going to close it. So we've racked up another video for my library. Thanks for anybody who tuned in. And I also just love doing these again, so that my people who are research nerds and stumble across me, my wee voice, this dissident voice that's saying something totally different than what's being said about skin, can find me and can listen to these videos and be more informed. And of course, there's another way of resurfacing skin, and it is here. It is a Medi-Holistic resurfacing process by Skin Harmonics. And my name is Danny, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.